members of the public, to a meeting of the Planning Committee held on, it is Tuesday the 13th of February, 7 p.m. And this is the offices of the Oakham Town Council in the Victoria Hall. Welcome to fellow councillors, clerk, and there are no members of the public present for the benefit of the tape. So, moving on to the agenda, item 1 is apologies. Standing order to receive apologies. We've got apologies from Councillor Lucas. So, proposal for Councillor Lucas from Nick, seconded by Anne. All those in favour? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Are you against or abstaining?
I'm abstaining.
And 1 abstention. So that's to receive apologies.
Joyce has received.
Joyce has sent her apologies in, so that's what it is. There's nobody else, is there?
Nope.
Right, cool. And members are asked to declare if required any disclosable pecuniary interest or any other interest they may have in respect of the agenda or anything else. Anybody got any interest on the agenda? I've only written in the book that I'm the Town Council rep on the Citizens' Advice, which is 7. It's not a pecuniary interest. I might comment, I might abstain, but it has no bearance on anything, I don't think, given what the matter is. So,
The picture's gone away.
Right, so minutes, to confirm the minutes of the meeting of the planning held on Tuesday the 30th. Everybody's received a copy of the minutes. Has anybody got any comments, amendments, adjustments, additions, deductions? Looking for a proposal to accept the minutes. Proposed by Anne, seconded by Paul. All those in favour? 1, 2, 3, 4. Martin?
Abstaining.
And 1 abstention.
I'm taking the time to check them.
When did you get your minutes in?
I can't remember.
First class, next day after everybody else.
Right, okay.
Mine came out
there
mine
is
came
an issue
out
there.
through mine, yes.
Yeah.
I can't look at the pictures.
They went out the same day, first class.
Yes.
Chairman,
for ages.
there's an issue with the postage because
Oh, right, okay.
the letter that was sent with some important information the other day was too thick. It had a first class stamp on it, but it was posted in good time, but the post office said that it would be
I
treated
think
as
so, it's
second
not.
class.
Yeah,
on the agenda.
it's not on the agenda, Martin, so I can't discuss it, I'm afraid.
It's gone
Right.
again on the-
Deputation by the public, there's no members of the public present. So, moving swiftly on to item 5, to consider the follow applications received to date. So, 1 is Simon Barefoot, or Barfoot, Barefoot, isn't it? And this is 8 Ferrers Close. I can't remember much going off at Ferrers Close. This is the new build, isn't it? Where Ferrers School used to be, I'm guessing. Is that right? Am I right on that? Is this off Coldovton Road? Oh no, it's off Redland Road, isn't it? No, it says, oh, it's old, isn't it? Of course, yeah.
Yeah, it's the old one.
It is, isn't it? Wow.
It's
got anything-
right in the middle
Yeah.
of that.
I've got some closer plans on the actual porch thing then. I mean, I don't... I want a porch.
Not both of them. Right.
Right. It's, I mean, it's not, there's obviously no light issues, it's not crossing any boundaries. There's, from what I've seen, there's been no objections. Nick, have you got that on
No,
there?
yeah, I've been through them.
I didn't bring my lappy's on
Only one.
he's having a rest tonight. So, yeah, any observation?
no, I propose
Proposed by Anne, that there's no objection, seconded by Paul. All those in favour? That's unanimous. So, 2 is Mr. Gareth Owens. It's a change of use to osteopathy clinic on Dean Street. Osteopathy.
Flats and things.
You can't think where it is.
It's where there used to be an arcade. Do you know where the pizza place is?
It's opposite Mary Monk.
Pizzas. It's behind that.
Yeah.
It's actually part of the same building.
You see that way it says PH, Alan?
Yes.
That's the Merry Monk, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
I know where
So,
Dean Street is.
Yeah,
There's
that's Dean Street, the grey thing above. So it's that red block just there where the white arrow is.
What's that little bit at the other side of it then? It doesn't seem to be, it's Is that the garden all around it or something?
No, that's the rest of the building.
Divided up. It's a very old building.
Yeah.
And it's divided up into, there's a
Yeah.
studio, a dance studio there was.
But the thing is also they're doing a change of use.
Parlours there as well.
Is it becoming an osteopath?
Yeah.
So it's going from a dance studio, whatever it
From
was.
office,
Yeah.
and it's first floor.
There's the one on Burley
There's
Road.
loads of them.
Change. No, the one on Burley Road is changing as well, aren't they? So maybe that's what it is. Anyway, the thing is, it's currently a business. It's just all it is. It's the same business. I don't see any impact, certainly on any neighbours. or anything like
Plenty
that.
of consultation.
And there won't be an issue with football or rowdiness. Football, not football. So, any comments from the floor?
No.
Keep drinking because I don't feel well. Don't worry, you'll all film it next week.
Thanks, I'm on holiday.
Oh yeah, you going anywhere nice?
Vegas.
Again.
Vegas.
Again.
Don't worry, at the tables at Vegas, there are buckets under the table, so you'll be alright. So looking for a proposer, or proposed by Nick, seconded by Paul. Thank you, Paul. All those in favour? This is to accept the change of use. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Anne, abstention? Okay, that's 4, and 1 abstention. Easy enough, isn't it? Number 3, the first floor extension over existing ground floor extension to the 2-storey extent. Oh, sorry, and the 2-storey extension to the MD elevation. So this is Lonsdale Way.
Yeah, it's quite a big footprint.
Yes, we've got a block, a plan of something. Yeah, that's right. Let's just drag that. Brilliant. Yeah, it's a huge. That's the proposed 2-storey. That one on the right. That is huge, isn't it? Is there anything on planning objecting?
No.
There's not, is there? Okay. Well.
My only comment was it was.
Yeah, and the thing is, there's no neighbour next door, is there? Because there's a road next to it, isn't there? So there will be no overlooking. It's not going to impede light or anything like that. And Lonsdale Way, I mean, I don't know how many of you drive up Lonsdale, walk up Lonsdale Way on a regular basis, but it is probably a well-built street. It's got extensions, wherever you go.
There's a rule about the size of the extension.
Yes, but if the only thing is, have we got concerns about that?
Well, do we know what the square meterage or cubic meterage or whatever it's going to be or not?
I don't off the top of my head, no.
It's in fitting with the land plot,
Yes.
so
It's proportionate.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a double at the side,
Side.
and then which is the double bit then?
So this
Where it says bedroom 1?
Yes.
So that's what's underneath it then?
an appropriate lounge extension or dining room extension.
Yeah. You've got any of the ground floor. There you go.
Playroom.
Oh, it's a playroom.
Huge.
Yeah.
So when you actually look at the meterage there, it's not actually. I mean, it's what's that? I can't see it from here, but it's only about. Was it 3 metres by 3 metres?
I wonder if they're going to take children, what's it called? Childcare.
Somebody on Lonsdale Way already does that, don't they?
So yes, but the desperate.
There's houses round there on the corner, and I know we're not supposed to take things into consideration, but there are similar developments.
Yes. Yeah.
I know, because I've been in a house there.
Can we see the road plan again, please, Alison?
They've got a big gardens, you see, so they can fill it up.
Yeah.
So that, to me, that's very similar to the one that's.
What, I mean,
exactly what
When you look at the house to the left of it, which would be 52, that looks like it's been built on because it's got 2 sectional blocks on it as well.
That might be the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
I can't remember the number. Won't say the
But
name.
that extension is closer to the road than the 52 is. The 52's got quite a bit of garden there.
Yeah.
The 54 is going to go fairly close to the.
Yes,
I'm
but
not sure.
there's nothing in planning regulations where they're within their boundaries, so they can go all the way up to their boundary fence. There is a thing where planning application people like there to be some route round the rear of the property rather than having to go through it, and they have got that. And also, in the event of a serious incident, you've also got a boundary that you can break through off the road.
Is it semi-detached or is it just close to the
It
thing?
looks semi-detached.
It looks as though there's 3 of them though, doesn't it?
Yeah. But I mean, if there's no objections from the county council, neighbours, I don't think there's any objections.
Something on, I don't want to see it.
Oh. B
No
Road.
objection.
Yeah, no, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So
based
I
on
was going
that,
to say, my notes, I only did them an hour ago.
yeah,
So
I've
somebody
been
has
writing.
Imagine if Sarah
No,
put these
no,
on, so I have to
no,
look
Which
at
rows
them.
then?
the neighbour, the immediate neighbour, has obviously written in, and or that neighbour has written in and said no objection.
Oh, right.
So they've been asked their opinion. They're just confirmed what I think.
Wouldn't he? So
Some neighbours don't even bother to give a positive negative response or a negative
When
positive
they give
response.
a positive.
So, do we have any reasons to refuse it? I can't think of any on planning grounds. Obviously, the normal remit would be that, I mean, most of the houses are built on London bricks, so as long as it's a brick max, and the planning people will make sure that happens anyway. So, looking for a proposal. Proposed by Nick, seconded by Adam. All those in favour? Unanimous? We see this more and more, don't we? People don't want to move because it's actually cheaper to
It's a
extend.
growing family.
All good stuff. Number 4, Mr. Brian West. This is a garage extension to the front of a dwelling off Brimfield Way.
My increment of this, there is an error on
Really?
Yeah. It says proposed for existing, so we've got the two.
Right. Can we get that a bit bigger?
Yeah.
So that's the plot. That top right hand one in the yellow.
Right.
Oh yeah, and that shows the garage. So they're putting is it a double garage, isn't it?
I can't see where the garage is. That the bit stuck at the side there.
You see that grey shaded area? Proposed garage. It's disproportionate, isn't it?
There's no garage. There's no extra bit put on, is
The
there?
picture below.
There, that one.
Oh, sorry. Oh, it's there. I was looking at the wrong bit where
Yeah.
it's outlined in red.
Is there any more detail than that, Alison, or is it that it, I think? Oh yeah.
existing at the bottom. No. So,
But that's the
proposed
truly at the
elevation
front.
is the existing, and if you go
Yeah.
down, is that.
Right, so it's a typo, is it? Well no,
Well,
that should,
it's not a level of detail that one would show.
is it, so
Yeah.
proposed,
So they want to bring it out.
What's
don't
that
they?
bit sticking up the top then? I don't get those bits there. Above the garage.
that's existing parts of the
Yeah.
building.
Huh?
That's that's a typo. But
Yeah,
as I say,
proposed is a typo, isn't it? So it's not a huge extension, is it? It's
I
just,
don't get it though, sorry.
which bit don't you get?
Is it going to have a pitched roof? Is it having a pitched roof or not a pitched roof?
pitch roof here.
Is that the pitched roof?
Yeah, add it, so they're extending it from this bar. Yeah.
Oh, to that bit.
So that bit
bit,
there,
so
yeah.
they're effectively adding
And the
this.
window.
So what's that bit at
That's
the
some
top?
office space.
What's the top of that bit then?
This bit is if you go and look at the.
And then what's that bit sticking out like a...
Right. Come this way. There's
That's
another.
probably
There's
the
another
bit
building behind
It's
it.
probably the bit-
That little square bit you can see sticking up that looks like a lozenge is sat on the top. That is just the existing roof. So what they're doing is that they're building a front false roof,
And
aren't
then
they?
a
at the
flat
front?
bit.
And then they're still going to have a flat roof behind that. Yeah.
Did you
Ah.
slide it sideways?
And then that bit, oh, that's a bit... Oh.
So yeah. So this is what you're seeing. So
Yeah.
this is the new
Oh,
front,
yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
the existing
Yeah.
So is that a garage? Is all that
No, that's the rear of the
part of
property.
the house. And it's
They've had. It looks like they've had other work done on it. But,
yeah.
but at the end of the day, I don't think there's any objections on this. It's a reasonably small extension to the garage.
Yeah.
It's certainly not going to impose on lights. There's no planning restrictions around this
no
application.
objections.
Any other comments from the floor?
No.
Anybody care to propose to accept? Paul, seconded by Nick. All those in favour? Unanimous. They also started doing this thing where they put these what I call bunker windows. They have these little windows sort of set. It's like a military machine gun bunker to me. But
This one's the classic for that.
oh right, okay. Well, is this number 5, Mr. Allen? Proposed 2-storey rear and side extension. Proposed front porch and convert the garage to a utility guest room. This is huge, isn't it? Greenfield Road. So can we?
I don't know
There
where
were a
Greenfield...
couple of objections from neighbours about overlooking
Right.
the road, but
However, would you not consider the proposal unacceptable? However, we question if it is necessary to have the west-facing master bedroom window overlooking properties in Barnstead Drive.
and the second
The property only
feedback
has...
is actually about that. Again, that same point, where that is lodged as an objection.
Right. Is there any other plans we can see where we can actually see?
I
Is
didn't
there
know
three?
what
Was there another one?
Barnstead Road was in relation to that.
I don't think that's a planning consideration.
Oh, it
Overlooking.
is. Oh, it is.
If it's saying looking into a neighbouring road,
I thought
No,
we looked at the house.
in actual fact, if the house is on the same level, it's not overlooking, is it? It might be looking straight across, but it's so if something's got, I don't think it is a planning consideration from what I see. If it was blocking out light, that's an issue. Restricting views isn't an issue.
I've seen ones in Oakham where they've had literally windows looking into people's gardens, Stamford Road, for example, where then they've been neighbourly and just frosted the window.
We had it where I lived, when they demolished the school and built all those houses on the Poets' Corner now,
Yeah.
and so
They
our house
all
looks straight to the back of
gardens,
people's
don't
windows.
they? Yeah.
So have we got any elevations on this one? This is the floor plan. Have we got an elevation?
No,
on
that's it.
That's it, is it? Oh, right, okay. Just go back to the location plan so we can see where it is in relation to Barnstead Drive, please. Right, where that's Greenfield. Where is Barnstead Drive on
It's not on, I didn't know where it was. So
I don't know where it is on.
Gate, past the navigate.
Is it a
there?
cul-de-sac?
Barnstead Drive is that one, that lower one, isn't it? That road there. So where it says location plan, just above location plan, that road is Barnstead Drive.
I thought that, but then when
Yeah.
you look at where they're saying the master bedroom is, that would
Well, that means that the master bedroom is going to be going in the back. Looking at the distance between those 2 points there, I can see what they're saying, but
Yeah.
the distance there,
I think you think that's there.
yeah, I mean that wouldn't be. That is not a planning failure for me.
What's that?
I couldn't see where it would be an issue.
It's the one looking next to it there, isn't it, surely? It's the one that's like, I don't know if that is north, but because it says it's west, but you know, the one that's above it. Pardon? Sorry?
Who's talking about my windows?
Mr. Woodley has windows looking right into his courtyard.
Yeah.
It's
So-
it's not planning.
I mean the only thing. I think the distance where it is from the person's boundary and the distance of the other houses on Barnstead Drive, those properties on the lower part of the picture, I can only sympathise really, but I can't on grounds of planning refuse that for overlooking.
I can't see which is the road because that's, isn't it?
You see where it says location plan?
Greenfield Road, right.
Yeah.
So that's that one coming down there. Then where does it go to?
Well, it's a dead end. It stops there.
So what's that bit funny bit across the bottom then?
Which bit?
That tiny little road there, what's that one? Is that a footpath?
That'll be a boundary line. It might be a footpath, or it might just be a break where maybe the creek is, because this goes to Ashwell Road, doesn't it?
I don't know, I can't think
Yeah.
where it is.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
off Ashwell Road.
It's off Ashwell Road. When you go up Greenfield and then onto Summerfield, when you go down Summerfield, you come out on Ashwell Road near that zebra crossing, and then from that zebra crossing you turn right, you go down the dip, back up the hill towards the chip shop on Ashwell Road.
Yeah.
Well, just as you're coming back up, before all the chicane, on the right hand side is Barnstead Drive.
Oh, right.
So that's when you come down Barnstead Drive, and that's what that row of houses in the lower part of that picture is. That's the Barnstead. It doesn't say Barnstead Drive, but that's where it is. Imagine that location plan is Barnstead Drive.
It's a slightly earlier version of a cluster estate, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
So the people are quite lucky to have space there. If they
Yeah.
look at the new estates, they're practically on top
Yeah,
of each
because
other.
I mean, this when you look at the house, yes, you're right. And you look at the houses on Meadowfield and how much garden space they've got. It's huge. But then you've got a lot of them when they come down, they actually slope down, and there's quite possibly a creek or that the river comes down between those two estates.
There's a number that go through there.
Anyway, after all the yakking, I personally have no grounds for not allowing it. Any other comments or observations? Otherwise, we're looking for a proposal to accept the application. Anybody who don't want to take the risk?
No, I
I
can't.
can't just.
Yeah.
And we've looked at the two-storey rear and side, which is the side one, that bit stuck out the back.
That little bit sticking out back.
And what's that going to be?
Utility room, I believe it said. Hang on a minute.
Yes, I convert.
Convert garage to utility room, guest bedroom, and office. So,
Big garage.
So they're not going to have a garage then?
well, looks of it, yeah.
I mean, I haven't been to that one, or I might have been in the past, but I imagine they've got.
Oh, it's the
parking.
proposed front porch. That's probably that little bit sticking out the front there, number 16, will be the proposed front porch, and then the double garage, which to a certain extent the building is already there, the footprint's already there. The more I talk about it, the more I convince myself that we have no reasons to refuse it.
And there's not parking issues.
Well, I think
No.
it might be.
Well,
I mean,
only,
I'm sick of people with drives parking on pavements in roads. It's just impossible sometimes to get past. I feel quite strongly about this.
There are some more drawings.
we haven't got any more drawings, have we? This is all we've got.
this was
We've only got
one
the
of
plan.
There's quite a few.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I'll
But
try and find some.
it's been revised
Right.
recently, so that could be why
Mm.
it's not on there.
Do you think you've got enough
There's a
information?
revised proposed elevation and revised proposed floor plan that came in.
Is there any objections from highways on there, by the way? Because that's no, I wouldn't have thought there would have been. Not, is there?
I don't think we've got enough
Got
information.
No, there
There is more online.
How much is it?
Yeah.
If you can get the internet with yours, can't you?
are. Is that mentioned, do you think?
No, that's not the very
I mean, at the end of the day, when you look at what the plan is, and this is the actual plan here. It literally shows the footprint of the house and of the garage.
It doesn't show the elevation.
So we've got this by, you've got six.
Yes, here's the elevations here.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got one, right.
Yeah.
And are they the revised version 0803?
Oh, these are the RIP
These were
ones.
on, these were, put these on quite early, so I
Yeah,
don't know
so
when.
they submitted some more updated documents on the 8th. So in the last 4 days, 5 days.
This is just says 6th of Feb. These are.
Yeah, so these are they've revised them since then, and that the portal.
What's that?
And if you
That's fine.
ever have things like you feel there's not enough information, you can go to Rutland Council and ask to see the planning officer.
Right.
And they're very helpful, they don't mind visitors.
No.
And you can email as well, planning at
So I
.gov.uk.
can't remember because I haven't
No, because you've got problems with this.
That's the latest one on
Rutland,
Which one you got?
planning at
revised
Rutland.gov.uk.
elevation.
So
So
you'll
what's
get a
going to
standard
be above the
response.
utility room? It says-
Yeah, because all we've got is we've just got this here. Whereas that
No, online there's
Yeah,
more.
and you can phone and speak to them as well, it's very handy.
What's above the utility
I'll tell
room?
you what, we've
If I can
got.
look on the portal if you like.
Yeah, that's where this is. Right.
There you go.
Yeah, no, you see that this is since
I don't
not
think-
08.
Yeah, but I'm just looking at what this is in comparison to that, and that looks exactly the same.
What's above the utility room then?
Mm.
I don't know what's above it, but I mean, to a certain extent, it's. I mean, I
The
don't.
other thing is.
I don't know what more information we can have. At the end of the day, I mean, it's the actual footprint of the property has not increased, has it? Apart from the small porch.
Come in and look at the plans,
Yeah.
if there's anything new, because sometimes it's better to.
Well,
see
what's the code?
2018 slash 0147 slash
Full.
FUL.
Yeah, slash.
When
You
I-
need A, you don't need
That's
B.
what you use to
Yeah.
look at plans, not that,
Yeah, perfect.
So
Yeah,
So the ones, so these,
yeah, the revised ones at the
Revised at the
bottom.
bottom.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
either of those.
you can go in and ask, but it takes literally, I
And
think
there
it'll
was-
wait
and the-
Right.
5 minutes.
There you go. That's what the proposed elevation is, isn't it?
yeah.
It's.
So where it says proposed side extension.
I think the key. There you go. You can see it on there, and so the top picture on the left hand side shows the garage, and then when you look at it, is that right?
Yeah.
It's you see the top picture on the left above the garage bit that's been changed. That says proposed extension with a light in with a loft light, whatever it's called.
Skylight.
Skylight.
Yeah.
What is that little tiny bit going to be?
I don't
Does
know.
it say? No,
It's probably because they're. If it's probably a bedroom,
it's not big enough.
There
No.
are updated floor
No, but they
plans.
could, if they've extended the size of the bedroom, then all that does is put extra light
asking
into it.
about this bit,
Which
our
bit?
point on the screen, I can work
next
it
door
out.
to an
She's
ensuite.
asking about that, what is that?
Yeah.
That's an ensuite, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bathroom.
The ensuite's already there.
Well, they're just moving it
They're
over,
putting a
aren't
light
they?
in it.
And making
Well,
the bedroom
I don't
bigger,
know.
aren't they? They're probably redoing
I don't think
the
we've
whole
got enough
inside.
information, to be honest. I'm not happy with it. I'm not happy.
I think there is,
I
'cause
think-
if there are existing floor plans, which
Yeah.
doesn't have that ensuite, so there is a new ensuite now. So if you look from,
Yeah, is it, where is it on?
Then
I've got it on the screen.
It's obviously an expensive one.
I don't know if that's expensive.
Right.
That's,
So the computer I use, right?
Right. That's the approved.
so this is a new one, a new ensuite.
But it's got an ensuite.
That's
It's
the
one.
one.
But it doesn't matter if they've got an ensuite, they're allowed more than one ensuite, and we're not allowed, we can't tell them how many ensuites are allowed.
So they've moved that and they're putting the roof light in that piece.
We're not building control.
No.
That's what it was.
Hopefully
That's
we've got
only
the
that
county
in
council's
bedroom.
planners do that.
And then putting
We're going to have 6
Oh, that
bedrooms.
reminds me, I've got a feeling that the fitness centre, I don't like their disabled toilet.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
I don't
that's
think it
your-
complies
that's your
with
entitled box,
regulations
isn't
because
it?
they're doing refreshments and we've got this
Process.
huge, did you see it?
Okay,
Well,
fine.
I'm
Yeah,
proposing
but,
it.
right, thank you,
Yeah.
right, let's focus on this.
You've
Got a proposal by Nick, seconded by Adam. All those in favour? 1, 2, 3, 4. Abstention or against?
Against.
Okay, and 1 against. Well done.
You've got
Well, we'd rather talk about it a few minutes longer so we're
it.
all comfortable.
Everybody's happy.
Absolutely. Number 6, this is, isn't it, Mr. Manning? Proposed new single-storey and side extension to replace existing. This is a replacement, isn't it? Brook Road.
That's all I've got. What plan is this in?
It's not very.
Huge, is it?
Yeah, I don't like it when they don't do it on the same space, because you have to.
Yeah, mess about it. That's existing. Very nice. Probably. Oh. Yeah.
No.
Can I ask a question? 'Cause
Yeah, go on.
it just says, and a side extension to replace existing, new to existing. Do you have to apply for a new roof on your bay window?
Well, probably, yeah.
Why?
You're changing
Well, it depends if
something.
it's flat, I suppose, and then they want to
Yeah.
go the other way around.
New flat roof to existing bay window?
Yeah.
Well, I never got one for my home.
Well, this, at the end of the day, I mean, these people are doing it by the book, I guess, making sure. And also, I mean, a lot of these houses down Brook Road are quite old and established and got character. So building regs will apply.
This is the
Brook Road.
proposal.
If you've seen that top left piece, yeah, you see where they're putting the new roof on
Yeah.
the bay window,
That one there.
on that. And then they're putting so significant part of this proposal is this is to, if
Go back the other way.
this way slightly.
That's it.
This glazed roof, so there's a glass lantern being
Mm.
fitted into the back and turning that into, one of those nice dining areas.
Well lit.
So, I mean this is a distraction from what.
And then there's a little pyramid of
Yeah.
Yes, that's like a skylight thing.
Yeah.
over the garage.
Basically, they're updating their house and they're renewing what was probably a dated extension, aren't they?
Yeah.
A bit DIY flat.
Quite possibly, yeah. And yeah,
This-
I don't. Once again, because it's almost exactly the same. There won't be any objections from the locals. So, and I don't think building. And obviously, there's no changes to highways or parking. So highways haven't objected. So once again, I would no reasons to object on any of the grounds here. So looking for a proposal to accept it from Paul, seconded by Martin. All those in favour? Unanimous. Number 7 is Rutland Citizens Advice. They want to erect an aluminium circular sign.
I think this is the existing one, retrospective, or are they doing something new? I didn't look
I don't
at this
know,
one,
but-
I just assumed that's what it was.
I've got the impression this one's stuck out, but maybe I'm
Are
wrong.
they a new?
Circular sign.
Yeah, so on the opposite I
Oh,
took
so
it,
they
is
want to
that
put an
why it
additional-
is, yeah.
Oh, that's, yes.
Hmm. Well, it's not illuminated.
500 millimetres isn't very big, is it?
Well, it's less than 2 foot, isn't it?
It's going to match the one on the other side, so it's.
It's not very big at all, is it?
Makes it look like it's got a happy face, if you ask me.
Yeah. Cheerful.
Yeah.
It's
It's not obtrusive, is it?
No.
it's so when people come from either side of the doorway, they know what to build again.
But it's not going to be the same as that one on that side, is it?
No, it'll probably be blue.
That's blue on the left hand side.
It's going to be the same.
Oh.
Adam, because you're on that, aren't you? Are the owners?
Memorial Institute.
That's going to be it there, that's going to be it.
It's a circular, so it's going to be
Yeah.
nice. All right,
I
that's
thought that
fine.
was the
Well,
concept
well,
of that
well,
circle.
As far as I'm aware, the Memorial Institute haven't got any issues with work that's done at the building because they're trying to keep it well maintained. And at the end of the day, this is helping this
There's
business.
not a problem with it. is there?
No.
When I first
I
heard, I
proposed
thought it was retrospective.
Thanks, Anne.
Okay.
It's additional.
We've got a proposal from Anne to accept it because it's not an issue. Seconded by Nick. All those in favour? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll abstain just for the fact that I'm no, because I'm on the representative on that on Sisters Advice. So
So,
I don't want to show any bias whatsoever.
Yeah, being careful now.
Well, I've always tried to be careful.
But you don't have any votes.
Anyway, should we move on?
No, this is true. Number 8 is Your Life Management Services, erection of assisted living accommodation for the elderly, including provision of communal
Yeah, so
facilities.
this is in addition to a
Oh
pre.
gosh.
Yes,
good grief.
it's a variation of conditions 2 and 9, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's to allow alteration to design, in addition of 2 extra care units and 2 parking spaces on Penn Street, Oakham. Wow, that's.
Is that where you go?
I didn't do this before when it came, so I wasn't when this obviously got passed by council because this is what they're building at the back of.
Tesco's. Oh, God, what a mess it is as well.
It's going to look fantastic.
No, it's a road.
Yeah, by the
Obviously,
railway
numbers
side.
on,
Yeah.
but it's really going to change the landscape.
I think it looks pretty.
Well, the thing is, it's
Compared to what we've got now.
down there. I mean, it's been dead land for 100 years, hasn't it?
I
Really?
think the most horrific thing is the fact that it's now exposed the drill hole, and it's such a shame that they plonked in the middle of 2 nice buildings, such a horrible corrugated
Well, maybe they
building.
could get some of these old age pensioners on parade.
Yeah.
Oh, the drill hole, I know the drill hole, yes, where you
Yes, because they
used to use
created the
that.
road, the access
nights.
road is into that.
No, they use the drill hall for cadets.
Yeah, but they're not using for the nights of Oakham.
No, knights don't use it.
Where do you go now then?
We go to the Methodist Church.
Ah,
That's, it's a big.
it's a historical thing, a drill
I
hole.
like it.
Anyway, but it's an amendment, so
Well, I can't see which is the amendment.
Shop I work in.
it's a variation. It's basically alteration allows 2 extra care units and 2 car parking spaces. It's a minor alteration. I don't think there's been any objections. I know that people who were complaining about the overall work that had been going on because a bungalow got knocked down, but that isn't part of this consideration because the main application had already been passed some time ago.
Has the bungalow-
It wasn't there, it wasn't gone, I didn't think that was.
I believe I think it was being taken. Well, I think it was being taken down.
Because the man still had his car still
Yeah.
the other week.
Did
when I
it?
went
Oh, maybe it's.
It's
not
the
been
mud
done.
on the roads that's the church is filling those lorries.
So if we've got if there's no objections from anywhere else, and obviously they're making provision with car
Well,
parking spaces.
we can't see though. We can't see where it's going to be, what it's going to look like, or anything. That is just not telling us anything.
Well, that's what it's going to look like, and
The
it,
new bits.
it matches in with the
Yes.
sidings,
But
with
where-
the
where-
big turreted building that you can now see.
So whereabouts is this on in the main map that you first showed us?
Ooh.
Now where is it?
Do you
Where
know
is
where
it?
the drill hole is?
I know that, but which
Well,
is the
they've
bit that
opened it up
changed?
down the side.
I know
Martin,
that,
Martin,
Martin.
Martin, she wants to know which units are being changed.
Added or changed or whatever.
Yeah, and I'm imagining what we're going to do is they're going to change maybe some double units into single units, aren't they? I can't
I
see
don't
that
think
things
there's
are going to change.
anything major change to the
No.
plan, it's just.
The footprint isn't changed; it's just the internal layout, I believe, isn't
But
it?
we had that up at Oakham North where they changed from 2 bedroom to something and they altered the internal things.
So so the footprint hasn't changed. All they've done, they've reconfigured how they're doing the design inside. So it means Mrs. Miggins is less getting 35 square feet in the living room. She can have 28 because they're taking a little bit from
But
it. aren't they?
this is brilliant because that's going to create jobs as well. Because it's not like the McCarthy.
I know it's not. I know there's two separate. But there's two separate ones. There's great care and then there's even greater care.
Oh, right.
So I'm not objecting. because
Okay,
if
well-
people need care.
Has anybody else got any objections, or does somebody would like to propose that we accept it? Can't even grumble with that. Martin's proposed, seconded by Nick. All those in favour?
Well, I think so. I'm not sure.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Yeah, right.
I might
Unanimous.
need one of those places.
I think we all will after this meeting, yeah.
I think that means we have to declare an interest now.
Yeah. So funny. 9 is some trees.
Councillor Lee.
Yes, we've got a memo
From the tree
from
warden.
the tree warden. 20 Stafford Road. The tree warden says, I couldn't gain access to this property, but from the photographs and consultation with the officer, I have no problem and recommend approval for this work.
Oh. Can I make a comment?
Please do.
We refused to allow the people in that other road to cut down their lime trees.
That's because of an allergy though.
It's irrelevant. I can't see that those are overpowering a house. Not T4 anyway. I can't see a house on
T4 to be felled to ground level due to poor nature of the tree, and the tree warden, in consultation with the county council officer, has concurred the same. They obviously feel the tree's poorly. It's got to go.
Have they inspected it, or did you just think?
No, they would have gone and had a look.
I don't like trees cut down. So.
Okay. We could probably recycle it as firewood.
No.
Any other comments or observations on?
It just says form.
They just want to open up their garden. I'm sorry, I totally disagree with that.
Well, they're only cutting back T1, T2, T3.
Isn't it?
I personally think that if I've always said to Councillor Lucas, if she comes here and says a tree is diseased and dangerous, then I support that.
Yeah.
To me, poor nature, when I read it, is, unless you know exactly what it is, I don't support felling any trees.
No.
Especially in Stamford Road, because since I've been on the council, there's been quite a few.
Well, there's been no objections on the net, I don't believe, has there?
Well,
And people don't always know that it's that it's happening, do they?
Yeah. I mean, I tend to lean on the fact that these experts and tree wardens, consultation from RCC, know what they're doing. They wouldn't say. I mean, they wouldn't fell a tree unless.
Well, it
it was absolutely
depends on the
necessary.
person. Well, I'm sorry to say that, but I don't think that they're going to cut these back to no more than 1.5 metres.
Yeah.
A lime tree, that's,
Look a bit funny.
it'd look awful.
Well, they grow back.
The only thing I'd say is that I don't like the fact that due to the poor nature. What's poor nature mean?
Yeah, it doesn't mean it's disease.
Well, it could be the shape.
Could be anything.
Is there any shapes? Are there any more images of
Yeah,
trees?
no,
No
that's
photographs of
it.
the trees.
That's
there?
enough, I think.
That's it.
Perhaps they want to extend their houses and so they want the trees out of the way.
Well, we don't make planning applications on speculation, I'm afraid.
Well, I
I
mean,
retract my statement.
Let's just see what Nick says.
our tree wardens, they've gone and had a look and it's,
No, she hasn't had a look.
She's consulted with
Yeah.
the officer.
and so we either defer for more information, but my recommendation is we take her recommendation.
Yes.
Whether I'm not a tree lopper, but I have no more information than that, unfortunately. We don't know anything, do we?
No.
I would like to, because no one's put in a proposal yet.
No.
No, but if I was going to put a proposal, I would say that we support the tidying up of the other ones, and we object on the grounds of lack of information to a tree that's described as poor nature.
Okay.
Because it's not diseased.
No?
No.
But anybody can have an idea. People might look at my eucalyptus tree and think, gosh, that's a poor nature. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's grown like Jack the Beanstalk. So I don't know. I've always said that to people.
Okay,
We get a report.
I can read what the application
Oh,
says.
please, yeah, let's.
T4 to be felled to ground level due to poor nature of the tree. Client has mentioned needles do not provide ample coverage of the tree.
Pardon, needles?
I'm reading word for word. I'm not
Lime trees are
interpreting
Oh, so
anything.
the tree's not
In
growing.
addition, limbs have begun to snap out of the tree.
So it's right. So there's a risk,
So
health and
then,
safety risk.
if we went on that basis, then we should be chucking all our trees
Absolutely,
away and
because
cut
they're all
close,
broken.
because they're always falling down
Yeah,
branches.
because and with the wind, they're all branching off.
And the complaints of
So what's-
willow,
so-
pheasant.
But based on that, I mean, obviously the people that live there are concerned about tree branches falling and that the poor foliage. In other words, if it's not got pine needles, then maybe the
It's
tree
not
is.
pine needles, it says needles, there's
Or,
no needles.
whatever stuff comes off it.
They said needles.
They did say needles, didn't they?
And it does say client has mentioned, so mentioned me being the comment to
It
the
doesn't actually say
agent.
what type of tree it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, two
Client
foot.
has mentioned needles
You
do
don't
not
know.
provide ample coverage of the tree. I have no personal understanding of what that statement
Oh, right,
means.
no, it's not a lime tree.
No,
is
it's
it?
not a lime tree.
They're mainly, we're losing a lot of the big ancient pine
Yeah.
trees down there over the years, and it's sad, because they're
Anyway.
really,
With some.
Yeah, well, who wants to
That's the
propose?
ground. That's the ground level. So.
I'll support the own thing,
Yeah.
Martin.
unless Nick wanted to try.
No, no.
Okay, they're the sort of saying that. So my proposal is that we accept all the, whatever you call it.
T1,
maintenance
T2,
of
T3.
T1, T2, T3,
Yeah,
but we object to the felling of T4.
because we feel it's not diseased.
It's not disease.
And there's, yeah.
We don't have to.
I'll second that.
Right.
We have
And maybe a recommendation on the back of that is that maybe some appropriate tree surgery might address some of the
Yeah.
weak or brittle branches.
Yeah, because that was well Stanford Road. 'cause
Yeah,
it
is
seems
that
as
right?
if they keep going,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'll
that's
second
For
fine.
me, no, but that doesn't
No.
matter.
Yeah, so that's proposal. You happy with that, Martin? Is your
We can make an
proposal?
amendment.
I don't want to.
Okay.
I'll
I
second
cut
it.
it down.
It's proposed by Martin, seconded
You go
by
back to-
seconded by Anne. All those in favour? 1, 2, 3. All those against?
What, can I?
1, and I'm abstaining. And it's carried anyway, so well done. Just, when we receive that, we'll make sure we capture the comments, obviously. Oh no, here we go. X.
Oh, no.
We're going to fell an oak tree.
No,
now.
we're not.
At
No.
9 feet round.
No, we're not.
Oh, we're like a dead body.
What?
Are you going to tie yourself to the
Yes.
oak tree?
Then we can fell
I
it.
love
Right.
this tree, but I
9
don't-
Peterborough Road. There's been a report from the tree warden. Oh, look at that. It's a constant worry and stress.
I don't know.
What's a hornbeam?
That's a tree species.
Due to root fungus, you have noticed that there's some photographs of something. Oh. Anyway, Joyce
I haven't
says.
finished it yet.
Oh, right, okay.
I do sympathise if that's true, but
But the oak tree must have been there before they built that house. So if they built it next to the oak tree, that's their fault, or whoever built it. It's not the fault of the oak tree.
The house was underpinned at a cost of a large amount of money 25 years ago,
so it's not going to cause any more damage.
but the
No.
tree seems to be winning the battle.
Rubbish.
Well, it says it there, look.
Well, that's his opinion.
Oh, right.
Oak tree. Couldn't cut an oak tree down, for goodness sake.
Well, we've got to build ships with something.
Yes,
What
quite.
does Councillor Lucas say about
Do you want to know what Councillor Lucas said?
Yeah.
Here we go. Dear all.
Because there is a mention of some disease.
Of a different tree.
We're talking about the tree. Right, I visited the site. The tree is clearly visible from the road. It is a substantial specimen but has suffered greatly from previous tree work. It is very unbalanced. I suggest it should be felled before there is more damage to people and property. However, I pointed out to the case officer when he goes on a site visit with the forestry officer that the owner must be made aware of root shrinkage which is likely to affect his property if the work goes ahead. Tree warden approves the felling of this tree with much regret, but I cannot see any other way out of the situation. So, based on the fact that they've stated that there was some disease in branches by the looks of it, that the branches, I presume that a hornbeam is when a big chunk of something falling down.
Can I just say something from what
Of
you
course
just
you
said? It was due to, you said it was due to badly managed lopping bits before, so I'm sorry, that's their fault.
Well, they may not have been, they may not have done that. But the fact remains that it's,
I
if it's been cropped or treated before, but the tree is still failing.
Oak trees are always like Anne, you see Anne. I used to visit my grandmother in Great Yeldon, and it probably has the oldest oak tree in the country, and I think it's practically dead, but it's held together with metal straps, and there is without getting into too much details, I don't think we should be felling it.
I don't think we should have an oak tree, absolutely not.
In the application.
Well, I'm concerned about the stress and worry of the person. Yes,
I sympathise with
let's see what Nick says.
So in the application, they do say fell or significantly reduced by ground lifting and reduction.
Sorry, by what?
Ground lifting and reduction.
So they're offering an alternative, so we should probably go with that one.
You can't crown an oak tree.
Well, they do finish off like we've got that funny tree in cuts close now. You can actually have oak trees that are really cut
You can
back.
crown anything. All it just means it's
Make
cutting
it
it so it doesn't
straight.
grow any more up. And then obviously you lift up the canopy, trim off all the loose branches and just end up with a pole with a few
And
strands on it.
if you read their closing comments, they, rather than a yes/no battle, maybe taking on board Councillor Lucas's recommendation that it could cause more problems felling, they might want to consider
Well, yes,
actually
with root shrinkage.
revising the application for a crown rather than a
Yeah.
It's a protected tree.
We
Yeah,
could
what about
ask the planning
So,
people or whatever they're called, the tree department, to actually look at it very carefully, and we could maybe include Councillor Lucas's opinion of it, because then they will be, she's obviously looked into it, I know she knows things about the problems if the tree's cut, what it is going to cause by root shrinkage. So it's something it needs to be looked at properly, because obviously the man's distressed, and if well, I'm not an expert.
Well, they're asking for help on there, aren't they?
If an expert says
Is there
it
a
has
mark
to
on
go,
number 9?
then
It's not number 9, it's had all the renovations done to it, is it?
I don't know. It's Peterborough Avenue.
But I think we can, because we're not really saying, we don't have to say yes or no, we can actually recommend that the council works very closely with them to find.
Well, I think what Nick said was that to go back and sort of say maybe the first course of action is to do some more appropriate tree work by crowning, uplifting
That's
the
what I'm
canopy,
saying.
yeah, and that way they haven't got the issue where if they were to remove it, tree shrinkage or trunk root shrinkage could cause subsidence, which could damage the house further.
The roots can be
Yeah.
huge.
So, Nick, because you said you want to put that forward as a proposal then that we.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the words are.
Yeah, but basically, the town council would say that reject felling, however, recommend that it's resubmitted, the application, where substantial crown and reduction on the tree is done, which will help preserve the tree whilst giving some confidence to the applicant, and may prevent further damage to the property because it won't have root shrinkage.
Can we include the tree wardens,
And we'll send in
what the tree wardens
Just that
say?
bit.
just yeah.
Root trees.
Yeah, but not the bit about the recommend, in case they confuse that.
Yeah.
So proposed by Nick, seconded by Martin. All those in favour? 1, 2, 3, 4.
How do we know they weren't murdered the tree?
Are you one,
I'm
2, 3, 4?
abstaining.
Right, 4,
We have to
4. One
have faith in
abstention.
the officers of Rutland County Council that they are going to.
Because they won't do it, they will be the people that do
Murder the
it.
tree.
Yeah, but the man knows he can't do
Is that
it
it?
without
Yeah.
approval, so
It's,
he's trying to work, isn't he, with the
10,
council?
it's 10 to 8. 7:50, close enough. Here, end of the lesson.